Welcome, all you misfits and metalheads, to the cutting room floor. We are from the band Cut Like This. I am Thorn Black.
I'm Rose Blood.
And we are here each and every Wednesday and Sunday at 6 with a brand new episode for you. Also, we have music here on YouTube and Spotify. Go check us out. Today, what are we bringing to them, Rose?
We are bringing you, fresh from Netflix, Tremors 7, Shrieker Island.
Uh-oh. Now, I was a big fan of Tremors way back in the day.
The OG
like
Tremors,
the OG, but like
Kevin
Bacon.
Yeah,
Yes, I was a big fan of that one in particular. And, as the series went on, we've had some hits and misses. The general concept is great. I love this subterranean creature that
graboids,
that just can't hear. Can't see anything. It goes off a sound, and you take steps, and it opens in the little snake tongues. I thought that was a genius idea.
Of course,
the snake tongues and having so many of them.
By now, you should all be familiar with the Tremors franchise.
Mm-hmm.
It's been around for a minute, and this is the 7th film. As I'm sure you know, as they've gone on, they've gotten a little shoddier, especially I think 5 had some really crappy CGI. So this was an interesting choice. I wasn't sure how I was going to like it. I was really looking forward to it though, because I still have that nostalgia for the first two.
Right? I think that's why all of us
I really like those
it
first
still.
two,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really like those first two a lot. And even 3 wasn't too bad, but then it kind of, as these things tend to do when they kind of drag on too long, it did get a little cheesier, and as it goes more straight to video, obviously, the quality of the writing and the scripting falls by the wayside, basically. I really miss the practical effects.
I do too. That was one of my big
I'm sure
things.
there's probably some practical effects in that. There's definitely some practical effects with all the explosions and everything like that.
Let's talk about the good stuff first.
All right.
This movie is not all bad. If you are a fan of just the Tremors series, which is why I watched it, of course, then definitely check it out. Right? It's like... And
if you haven't ever seen Tremors, I don't know how much you're going to get out of it.
If you haven't ever seen Tremors, then go back to the first one. That's where you want to start.
Yeah,
and
you're
then
going to want to see the first two.
You'll decide how many you want to get into, from there. But the first one was, what really, made everything.
Yeah.
It had the best
Which
of everything.
It's funny because it was a big flop in theaters, actually, when it came out. Yeah, it was a big flop in theaters because they spent a lot of money on those practical effects. And
that's fantastic.
It ended up becoming a cult film. It's when it hit video that it ended up really exploding.
Gotcha.
And it became kind of a cult fan favorite. Mm-hmm. And I was really just a big fan. Yeah, there's a lot of deaths in this. There's about 28,
a good body.
I believe.
There's a good body count.
There's
decent body
16
count.
monster deaths, 12 human deaths. So
Bert is back, of course, because he's the one holding the Tremors series together.
He's basically been holding it all this time.
Mm-hmm.
And of course he does a great job as his character. It starts off with a weird kind of castaway-ish thing going on where he's kind of become this hermit on this beach.
Yeah, he's just done. He's tired of people and Tremors, and graboids. He's just tired of it all.
Yeah,
He's just
and
all
then,
right, leave me alone.
These people end up seeing, activity of the graboids again. And so they locate him and they bring him back.
Napoleon Dynamite
locates
him. What's his name? John Heater? Is that his name?
Yes, that is his name. And you will recognize him as Napoleon Dynamite. Mm-hmm. Although he's looking significantly cooler in this.
Well, he would have to. He wouldn't have lasted 2 seconds. He wouldn't have lasted 2 seconds if he was like that.
And he's kind of like the pseudo son, because the guy that played his son Travis in the last 2 movies is not in this one, and they make some kind of weird excuse that he was selling magic mushrooms in Mexico and he's in a jail or something over in Tijuana or whatever, and they just kind of never speak of him again. So Napoleon Dynamite becomes Bert's pseudo son.
Yeah.
In this,
he's the one that goes
I
and
feel
finds
like
him,
I feel like they
convinces him.
probably originally had Travis in it, and then maybe he just didn't want to do it. You know what I'm saying?
We don't know that.
We don't know. I'm just guessing. I'm guessing. But either way, they just totally write him out, right from early on in the story.
So, Napoleon Dynamite, I can't remember his character's name, and I just kind of like calling him that, honestly. Like, I know his name is John here.
Yeah, his name is Jimmy in the movie.
I know his name is John here. Like,
and then,
I like him, and
so the other,
that's why I just want to kind of keep calling him that,
yes,
even when I see him in other stuff. He's just,
I understand.
I personally do like him. I think he's funny when he's in comedy. It's like, I think he does a good job.
He's a king of, like, awkward humor.
Yeah. So we go and convince Bert, and we finally get him back, because, he's the best at killing them. I mean, he is the best at killing them. And we bring him to Shrieker Island. So the premise is there's this crazy rich dude who owns the island.
And he's a big game hunter.
And he is breeding graboids there for the biggest hunt ever. And then charging, like, a bunch of other rich people to come through and, like, kill the only wild prey. He hasn't done his homework, and he doesn't realize that the graboids have an evolution after a while. They get enough food, they keep evolving. He missed that note.
He kind of is very full of himself. This character's name is Bill, and he is played by Richard Brake. You might recognize him from the movie 31 by Rob Zombie.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the psycho clown guy in that movie, and he kind of stole the show in it. And he's also definitely munching on the scenery in this one, just friggin' blowing things up, being a total jerk, which he's very good at. So he's holding it down. He's committed to his character, and he does a fine job of being a total jerk off.
He's really good.
Game hunter,
so
kind
convincing
of that
character.
He's so
like,
convinced that he and only he knows the best thing to do and how to hunt things, and he, even as people are just being killed left and right around him, he's like, no,
that's
worry.
the thrill of the
he's
hunt.
Like, yeah, he's like, that's the thrill of the hunt. He's like, that's why I had them sign the waivers. I'm like, I don't know if waivers really excuse this many people dying.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can waiver your way out of that many deaths.
I mean, a waiver's a waiver, I guess, right?
I guess.
What are you gonna say? So these graboids start evolving, and then the Shriekers are running all over the island. So there were so many Shriekers. There were a lot of Shriekers.
There was also another mutated. There was some mutated stuff. They kind of lost an opportunity because they hinted at like one that was in the water, but then they ended up not doing anything with it because they just, I guess they just didn't have the budget. Maybe they were originally going to, but then they ran out of money. Which is a shame because that would have been something really interesting and cool to see in this, and it would have been really different from all the other Tremor films. It would have been a totally unique one.
I did, however, like that there was more than one type of graboid in this.
Yes.
And not just and like some of the other ones, when they showed like the original graboid, then it would just have that like evolution to the next stage, and it would be like a Shrieker or an Ass Blaster or whatever it was, and that's pretty kind of all you really dealt with for the rest of the movie. You know, in this one you deal with the graboid several times. That it's just around. And you have Shriekers out and about running all over the place.
And there's like a really huge one. There's like a really huge mutated like queen graboid, So they have a variety of beasties. Although we don't really get to see as many of the deaths. There's a lot of cutaways, unfortunately. But there is, like I said, a ton of deaths. There's about 28.
There's some stuff.
So
there's like some slow stuff.
How would you rate this film?
My rating, because one, I was really, really hoping that they would have a lot more practical effects in this movie to really just like ground it a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, the CGI is not bad, but
the CGI is better than the fifth one.
That's like
it's better than the fifth one,
it's like
but
a little
it's
miss.
Still...
It's like a little bit of a disconnect. Like if you go back and watch the first one, like scene when it busts through the wall and they're just like unloading like clip after clip, and it's not the same. It's not the same. I was a little let down. I was a little, and mind you, the design of the graboids and the Shriekers were still pretty good.
The design is cool.
Yeah, the Shriekers have like the skull face. That kind of,
it's kind of like this bony face, and it's just like it's got like a lot of exoskeleton stuff going on.
The design is pretty good.
Cool looking.
I was let down by not having the practical effects, and overall it was just okay. It's not bad, but it's not great.
So how many chainsaws? Let's cut to the chase.
I am gonna give this 3 out of 5 chainsaws.
I'm gonna agree with you there.
Right.
I mean, honestly, I almost want to give it. I am gonna give it 2. 2 chainsaws. We're not always gonna like everything that we share with you guys.
I'll stick with 3. I think like for people that are just fans of the Tremors like universe, and it's on Netflix. Everybody has Netflix. It's a good rainy day little something. It's not like mind blowing. They don't do anything new, but it's not absolutely terrible either. It's just it's kind of a little bit middle of the road. So I'm giving it a 2
I'll give it a because 3. I feel like the only memorable characters are Bert and Richard Brake as Bill, and Napoleon Dynamite's character. You remember him because he gets a lot of screen time. And that's it. Everybody else was kind of like dispensable. The dialogue wasn't that great. There was some really choppy editing. The CG instead of the practical effects was a bummer. There were lots of explosions. You're going to see lots of explosions, lots of dismemberments and stuff. But, they do, again, like I said, they have a bunch of cutaways. I watched it for nostalgia, and it didn't hold my attention the way that I thought that it was going to. And so that's why I gave it a 2. That's how I feel about it. We feel a little differently. Do, right? How do you feel about it? Take a moment and leave us a comment and tell us what you think if you've seen it.
So let's just keep it moving. We're done with that.
Yes.
Enough shrieking on that island.
Enough shrieking on the island.
So today's anime is going to be a brand new one from this current season, and it's called Jujutsu Kaisen. What do you think about this one?
So, I really like this new season anime. I am into it. This is another Shonen Jump manga, and this is by Gege Akutami, and it is about Yuji Itadori, who is a school, he's in high school, and he's part of the track team, but he's kind of lazy about it. He's always trying to do stuff. He basically joins the occult club in his school just to like really hang out with his friends because he doesn't really believe in it, and he just kind of does it so that he can actually avoid his track meets and everything, even though he's just naturally like an athletic dude, and they keep like kind of like wanting him to like, hey,
he's
man,
like, sorry, I'm busy. I have this other club.
Oh, sorry, I gotta be at my occult club meeting. Sorry, and it's during one of their occult club meetings that things go awry.
Yeah.
Things go awry because this occult club actually, they come to school really late. And they're just, typical, teenager stuff.
Yeah,
of
just
like,
playing around with stuff.
Playing around. But they actually uncover an actual supernatural thing.
Yeah, so this girl brings in this cursed item in this little box,
but she don't really know
realizing
what it is. It's actually a real deal item.
It's legit cursed. It's like really powerfully cursed, and you're going to wish you didn't have that, like, cursed.
Yes.
And that's when everything starts unfolding, and it's like
sliding downhill.
What? Yeah.
For poor Yuji. Yuji is a really likable character. He's very much like, he's just kind of thrown into a really crap situation, but he's got a lot of heart. And you kind of find out he kind of hits you heavy right in the beginning, his relationship with his family and stuff, and him and his grandfather and everything. And he's kind of, you get the hints of the darkness that is going to come from his interaction with his grandfather, who he loves dearly.
Yeah, they hit you with the feels a little bit, like in that first episode with like him and his grandfather. That's usually something that you'd see.
That's in episode 1, by the way, which usually you would see it like, an arc like that you'd see like a lot later on in the story, but they hit you with it really early to kind of show you the character of Yuji. They put a lot of love into the animation. The animation looks great.
Animation is great.
The line work is really cool. The monsters are really, really scary. They're really scary and messed up. The action is great.
I'm really into the action. It's really good fight scenes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
it's a crazy story.
Yes.
It's really
and
good.
This is actually like I said, it's based off of a manga, and there is a prequel manga to this, and it's called Tokyo Metropolitan Magical Technical College. That's a mouthful.
That really is.
I did that in one take, guys.
Like,
I did that for you.
What she just saying?
Okay. And you can pick that up if you want to learn a little bit more about these characters that you're going to see later on throughout the series. I'm avoiding it because I just my first introduction to this anime was the anime itself,
Yeah,
just
same here.
popping
Yeah.
up in the new season, and I was like, ooh, this looks really cool. This looks scary and
Yeah,
spooky.
but apparently it's been around for a while and it's pretty popular from what I've been
it
seeing
does.
online.
It does seem like it's making a big splash. Some people are comparing it to stuff like Hunter x Hunter. I don't see that comparison.
I don't quite see that
I absolutely disagree with that. I think it's more like Bleach a little bit, I would say. If you really think about it, it's a lot more like something like Bleach, you know. But this is actually darker. It's actually darker. So far it's only 4 episodes that are out right now.
Yeah.
So we are giving you our
4 episode like impression.
4 episodes. So just for that reason, our rating might change later on. Maybe we'll do a follow-up once the season is done and give you our thoughts on it once we see everything.
But right now,
I
this is
still
a banger.
think it's great.
This is one of my top 2 of this current new season of anime. It's pretty fantastic. The action is great. The characters are really good. It's just really interesting. It's drawn very well. It's good music. It's just all around good. I'm really excited about this one.
Yes.
From week to week. I can't wait for the next episode. So let's just go ahead and rate it. I don't want to give too much away about the story because it's just really interesting and exciting.
Yeah, let's just say I'm
go
just
check
going to
that
give
out.
you my very quick synopsis of this just to give you a little more idea, because since we only really just kind of grazed the topics of what happens. We know that there's, we're going to let you know that there obviously is supernatural stuff. There's like these demons and curses and things. And, they call them curses. They don't call
the
them
demons, they actually call the demons curses. And guess who has to go and fight them? Our main guy.
Yuji.
Of course.
Poor, sweet Yuji.
Yeah.
So
he gets caught up in it all. And
he gets caught up in a real crap situation. And he kind of does something desperate in the moment because
he had to save himself.
He wasn't actually even trying to save himself. He's actually trying to save his friends who were in the occult club, basically. And
but also
those friends
he was a half second from eating it. Let's be real.
He was gonna eat
it.
He
was
true.
like
it's true.
0.5 seconds from eating it.
So, anyways, through this encounter, he ends up meeting these sorcerers that are part of that Tokyo Metropolitan Magical Technical College. Whew. And ends up being enrolled himself later on. So that's what happens with him. Follow his adventures. There are 4 episodes out now. It's really cool seeing the different powers. Each of the sorcerers have different powers, so it's really cool seeing it all unfold, and I'm excited.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
It's real heavy right away. The action is intense, and it's scary.
And
it's really scary.
They end up throwing like a splash of humor in it every now and then.
There are little,
with like
little
some
comedic breaks, but
some
not
of like
not
the animation of their faces sometimes.
Yeah, I would never call this like a horror comedy at all.
Not at all.
Not at all. This has just like
little splashes
moments
here and there,
little
sprinkles here and there. It's just nice with some of the stuff that's going on. It's like, oh, I can catch my breath for like half a second, and then they're like right back in it. I'm like, oh no. So let's just go ahead and give this a rating. I'm gonna give this one a 4 out of 5 chainsaws. It's to be continued because there's only 4 episodes out, but I am really excited about this one. Like I said, this is one of my top 2 of this new season, and I can't wait until next week for the next episode. So go check this out. Let us know what you think about it.
I'm also giving a 4 out of 5. Only because I think that eventually I'll probably end up giving this a 5, but because there are only 4 episodes,
season's not
I don't
done.
think that you can fully give something a 5.
We can't judge it completely
because
yet.
5 for me, it's going to be something that I want to watch it another time and another time and another time, and I don't know if it's that yet. But it seems like that's what it's going to be.
It's on track to be.
It's got all of the earmarks of something that's really, you're going to stick with it and you're going to want to see how it develops. and
I think this
how
has the makings
his character
of something that's going to stay around.
Yes.
Actually, like
I
I think
do-
this
I
this
do
has the
think that
makings of
as
something that's
well.
going to be around for like several years. So,
absolutely, absolutely.
you heard it here first.
You heard it here
Even
first.
though I'm late
Jujutsu
to
Kaisen.
I'm late to it because I just found the anime and I never heard
Well,
about
the
it in
anime.
the manga.
Well, the
but-
anime is new. The manga.
No,
the
I know. I'm
manga's
just saying.
older,
I'm late
yeah.
to like the world of
Yes,
Jujutsu Kaisen
yeah.
because like I just found out about the anime. But check it out.
You're gonna like it. I think you will.
We are the band Cut Like This. Please go check out our music here on YouTube and on Spotify. We'll be back here every single Wednesday and Sunday with a brand new episode at 6. Let us know what you thought and don't forget to subscribe. We're out. Peace.